Hello, everybody. My name is Arethea Brooks, and welcome to Essentials to a Journey. I am a health coach and focusing specifically on mindset and self-care. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. So I'd like to just go ahead and get into today's topic of discussion, and it is the idea or concept of self-care as wholeness. And I know that a lot of people like to link self-care to just the physicality. While this is something that I believe to be very important, it is not the whole picture. Self-care is, for me, mentally, physical, and spiritual. And what we'll do today is we'll get into each class of self-care. So the mental class of it, or the mental plane, if you will, the physical plane of self-care, as well as the spiritual. So let's first go ahead and discuss the mental aspect of self-care, because I think a lot of us miss this, and I think a lot of us miss this so much that it shows up in our lives in ways that we're not cognizant of it. And it's like we go through our lives blindfolded, if you will. So self-care, when it comes to mindset, is very important, I believe. And the way that I like to address self-care mentally is a lot of various ways. But I will start by saying self-care, if you are dealing with your mindset and you're not necessarily having a good time or the best time mentally, this may show up in your life as like anger, anxiety, overwhelm, anxiousness, not having enough energy to move throughout your day the way you typically would. These are all symptoms of like self-care depletion from a mental aspect. And so some ways that I like to combat self-care when it comes to mindset, the way I like to regulate myself mentally is by journaling. So basically being aware of my persistent thoughts. And this for me can look like journaling or writing down exactly how I'm feeling. What we call it in the writing aspect is free writing. So you're just sitting down with pen to paper. You're not like overthinking anything. You're just letting your thoughts just fill out on the page. Then you go back and reread to just kind of assess like where you are. And if you're someone who is very alert and aware, you might already have a sense of where you are mentally. So you want to tap into the narrative. Another way that I like to address a mindset self-care is through understanding the narrative that's showing up for me. So what is the story that I'm telling myself? What am I saying to myself over and over again to create mental fogginess, anger, or anxiety or overwhelm? What is the story that I am getting behind? What is the story that is, creating the circumstances that I have? And so just really understanding the narrative you have. And if you need to adjust your narrative, say you don't have an ideal narrative, maybe you want to tell yourself a better story. So can I become aware of that old story and transmute it? And what I mean, and what I say when I say transmute, what I'm meaning by this is, can I flip the script? Or can I say, okay, well, maybe I'm not feeling the appropriate way that I want to feel. Maybe I don't have, I'm not thinking about it this way, but maybe I can shift to that. This is how you transmute. Or, even though I feel this way, I know I have the capacity to feel better than this. And it's just talking yourself down off the ladder, talking yourself down and just trying to calm yourself down and taking things down a notch. And again, this is to help combat some of the anger, the frustration, the overwhelm. So that's the mental part of self-care. The way I like to go about addressing the physical aspect of self-care, and this is something I feel like so many of us we dive into, we are so much more concerned with. And while I think it is a great way to address self-care, it's not the only aspect of self-care. But when it comes to physical self-care, I get really real with myself. I tend to, instead of just addressing like, oh, I'm just going to go shopping, or, oh, I'm just going to, fill up my bathtub with, this wonderful scent and these essential oils and just allow that. I think it's a little bit deeper than this. It's about tuning in to where you are mentally and then addressing yourself physically. So if I know that I'm exhausted mentally, the physical thing that I want to do is I want to grab a glass of water, and I want to make sure I'm getting enough water throughout the day. But I also want to feel where there is tension within my body, because I know if there's tension here, there's probably also going to be tension, physically going on within me. So giving myself 10, 15, or 20 minutes to either do some yoga or some just regular stretches, some poses. This tends to help, and I will stay in a pose that feels really good for me, and a pose that will help me to relieve some of the stress wherever the tension may have built up within my body physically. So that's how I would go about the physical part of self-care. And if you need to take a bath, by all means, fill up the tub with some water, some, bubbles, and some essential oils. If it does something for your sense of smell, you want to add some fragrance, do that. It will, maybe lighten your mood, make you feel a little bit better. Maybe you want to add some Epsom salt, because that also helps to relieve muscle tension. I do this on occasion. So it's just first tuning in mentally, again, where you are, to address the physical aspect of your being, of your sense of self-care. And the final part of self-care, which I find to be very essential, and it ties in the wholeness of your self-care routine, is the spiritual aspect of self-care. And a lot of us are not addressing this. And if we are, we're not being honest about it. And what I mean by this is living through purpose. Like, are you showing up in a way that feels purposeful? Are you doing the things that align you with more of your purpose? Are you showing up for yourself, in purpose? So, for example, like if you're in a job, and I'm not saying go out and quit your job, quit your 9 to 5, whatever you got to do to take care of yourself, boo, please do it. Do not go out and just, quit your job. That's not what I'm saying here. But what I am addressing is that, are you living in alignment with the truth of who you are being and your purpose? So, or who you wish to be, that vision of yourself. So are you stuck in a job that you hate and you dread waking up in the morning to go to? I remember, back in the day, starting out my career in fashion, I absolutely dreaded one of my jobs. And it was actually one of the first, initial jobs that I had. And I was sitting behind a desk, and it was a position that that was created for me. And I was, trying to be a more self-sufficient, to show that I was efficient, to show that I could do this, to show that, I take initiative. And, I had got myself into a position that was draining me. I'd wake up in the morning dreading going. I didn't sleep very well. I maybe got 3 to 4 hours. And when I did get enough sleep, it was like my mind wasn't shutting off, because I couldn't shut off the tasks from the previous day, because I was so tired and burned out and just overwhelmed. So, and it was a job. It didn't feel fun for me. And I know it didn't feel fun because I didn't show up, with the happy, bubbly, excited version of me. So when I say purpose, I am really talking about, are you living in your purpose? Are you doing something every day that aligns you with the truth of who you feel you are? So if you love to do certain things, if you love to knit, if you love to create things by hand, if you love to teach people how to work out or exercise, or if you love Pilates or yoga, if this is your passion and you get so excited and you light up, maybe that is the thing that you should be thinking about. And if you can't do it as a full-time job, can you incorporate it into your life a little bit at a time? I'm not saying go out and quit your 9 to 5 or quit your safety net, but what I am saying is live with purpose, because when you do, you show up to life in a completely different way. People feel that, people resonate with it, and you light up yourself, you light up the world around you. You start to see life as a little bit more enjoyable. So I am going to end it on that note. Those are the 3 ways that we can learn to self-care. And again, self-care isn't just about one. It's not about just spiritual. It's not just about physical, and it's not just about the mental. It's the wholeness of who we are being. Mind self-care is about feeling whole and complete, and that starts with all 3: mental, physical, and spiritual. If this resonated with you, please feel free to hit the like and leave a comment down below. Let me know how you are self-caring in any of these areas, if all of these areas, and if there's something you wish to see to do more of with your self-care routine. Claim that in the comment section, because I'd love to start a discussion around this, because we can all shed a little bit more light on how we are showing up with our self-care practices or daily routines. So leave your comment, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to this channel, because I will be here every week giving you guys tips on self-care as much as I can, whether I'm showing up with a short or whether I'm showing up with a longer form video like this one. I will be here to give you guys my truth, hoping that you will also share your truth as well. So again, thank you for tuning in, and until next time, peace, light, and much love.